Whale guts. Wouldn't want that on you. A New Zealand beach has been closed down after mass whale strandings have led to fears of the decomposing carcasses going pop. It's not uncommon for whales to get stranded in the shallow waters of Golden Bay on the northern tip of New Zealand's South Island. But hundreds of pilot whales dying after getting beached there isn't something you see every day. Authorities are working to remove the carcasses, but the first order of business is to avoid a mass gut spilling. Dead whales have a tendency to explode, especially in high temperatures, as methane gas builds up in their bodies. Their thick skin and blubber prevent gases from being released, often resulting in the bodies violently bursting open after pressure builds up to spew out a disgusting cocktail of organs and fluids. Lovely. To avoid this, workers have been puncturing the carcasses to let the gases out, probably hoping against hope that nothing explodes in their face while they do it. Some of the carcasses will go to Massey University so that scientists can try to figure out what caused the mass beaching. The rest will either be buried or left to wash out to sea. YouTube's ad policies are killing creators, but you can help. Be a hero at patreon.com/TomoNews. Keep watching for more beached whale stories.
Rotting blue whale about to explode raises fear in Canada town. A dead blue whale washed up more than a week ago on the western shores of Newfoundland, Canada. The dead cetacean has since doubled in size, and town residents fear it's going to burst. Whales can explode due to the buildup of methane, hydrogen sulfide, and other gases within the rotting carcass, especially if it's been sitting in the sun for several weeks. Measures aimed at preventing an explosion, such as making cuts in the animal to help gas escape, are common. But the task of disposing of a whale carcass can get a little dangerous at times. Oh, poor guy. The gas built up inside the whale's belly until it exploded like an overinflated balloon. Is it really going to explode? There she blows! Emily Butler, the town clerk in Trout River, Newfoundland, has sought help from the province's Environment and Government Services Departments and the Federal Fisheries Department to remove the carcass. She said the town council considered having fishermen tow the whale carcass out to sea.
Wally the Whale's Cali Beach Tour comes to an end. The body of a long-dead humpback whale has been towed to sea at least half a dozen times, but it just won't stay put. The carcass is believed to be Wally the Whale. Wally shot to viral video stardom last year after footage was released showing her appear to shoot rainbows out of her blowhole. Wally first washed ashore in Los Angeles County just days before 4th of July festivities. Lifeguards had to tow the 22-ton carcass back to sea so it wouldn't decompose on the beach. But Wally didn't seem to appreciate the ocean burial. She later turned up at 4 more beaches, each time looking a little worse for wear. By the time it washed up at Encinitas, the carcass was badly decayed and had to be cut up. An attempt to haul off the rotting body on Sunday failed after the equipment broke under the massive weight. The next day, workers finally managed to transport the dead humpback's remains to its final resting place. Where's Wally? At the landfill.
What causes whale strandings? Recently, Britain's Coast Guard caught off a search for what could have become the 7th stranded whale in the country in the past few weeks. Rescuers had started an operation to help the sperm whale after it was seen approaching the coast of Mundesley. But after being unable to spot the whale inside the search area, the Coast Guard reckons the animal may have survived and swam to deeper waters. Experts say the survival rates for whale strandings are usually low. If the Coast Guard's hopes are right, this whale was a lucky one. But there's several reasons and scenarios that can cause whale strandings to happen. A whale may become stranded if it is ill or suffers an injury to its navigation system. Also, when in shallow waters, whales can easily become trapped in a changing tide. And since the marine animals live in tight-knit groups, one sick animal's calls of distress can cause an entire pod to respond and become stranded as well. Underwater seismic activity can also cause a whale stranding. So far in 2016, as many as 30 sperm whales have died in Europe's North Sea.
Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Whales and dolphin found dead, washed ashore in Australia. On Saturday, March 12th, a pygmy sperm whale calf and dolphin were discovered washed ashore on Parisian Beach in Queensland, Australia, while the mother whale was found about 2 kilometers north near Noosa. Images of the animals were posted on the Parisian Beach Village Facebook page. The post read, quote, "It is not known how they died prior to being washed up on Parisian Beach. The 2 dwarf sperm whales have cookie-cutter shark bites on their body and some abrasions to the nose, but are otherwise not physically damaged," end quote. According to Dr. Michael Noyd, an associate professor at the University of Queensland and humpback whale research scientist, while the pygmy sperm whales have been recorded in several strandings before in Queensland, this is probably the first record of the dwarf sperm whale. Measurements and photos were recorded by Coolum and North Shore Coast Care volunteers, and the Department of Heritage and Environment were contacted. The cetaceans were buried by Noosa Council. The causes of deaths are still unknown.
Volunteers saved 67 of the 198 pilot whales beached in New Zealand. Last week on New Zealand's southern island, a pod of pilot whales ran aground on a beach called Farewell Spit. There were 98 whales and volunteers rushed to save them, but after several days, despite volunteers' best efforts, they were only able to return 67 whales to the ocean, while 131 whales died.
We've got 198 whales, and it's the biggest one we've picked for 10, 15 years. Because there's just so many whales, there are a couple of spots where a lot were gathered together, and that's kind of problematic from the fact you can't get in there. It's just too dangerous.
Beach whales often die due to exposure to the sun, dehydration, and health issues as the weight of their own bodies can crush their internal organs. Farewell Spit Beach sees beach whales almost every year, and this incident this year is the highest incident since 1985. New Zealand does not have a rehabilitation or rescue center for beached or injured whales and dolphins. The topic is controversial as some animal rights activists do not believe animals should be caged or separated from groups during rehabilitation and recovery.